I don't know about you guys, but I take massive amounts of enjoyment seeing terrible things happen to people who utterly deserve it. And I understand that might be a messed up take, but we're talking about one of the most toxic personalities on the entire internet today, and that is Jack Doherty. You see, the last time we covered this kid, and I think the only time I've covered him on this channel because I try to even just like keep my mind off of his content. It's that toxic and trash that even I won't go near it. But he was crashing his McLaren on the highway, injuring his cameraman friend in the act, and making it all about himself as if this was some emotional thing he had to go through, even though he was the dumbass reading his phone while driving a McLaren in the rain. Well, needless to say, some more terrible stuff has happened to him since then, and this is pretty recent, so I just want to get right into it, and I'll explain as we go, because this is just absolutely delicious. If you're like me and you like to just feast on the tears of your enemies. Before we get into it, make sure you drop a like in the next 5 seconds, or else tomorrow everything you eat is gonna taste like booty cheeks. I know there's some of you out there that would enjoy that, but for the rest of you normal people out there, like the video. Anyways, let's get right on into it, shall we?
As like my girlfriend called the cops on me to get all her stuff out. Insane. Like, what the fuck?
So no, this is not GTA Online footage here. I know this is straight up some colors of vehicles that everybody would choose for their GTA Online character, but this is the real front yard / driveway of Jack Doherty's house, and as you can see, his girlfriend called the cops because she was so terrified of breaking up with this dude, she thought there would be some sort of retaliatory action on his part that she had to call the cops for her safety. To which he thinks this is the most crazy thing ever. You're just gonna hear him gloating over and over about how ridiculous this is, but he pretty quickly proves why she needed to call the cops here, as he's going to be making active threats throughout this video. Trust me, it's quite insane. He's not even trying to be covert about it, which is kind of the crazy part.
That's it, bro. That's all I did.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I did. I just wanted to talk to you. That's it. So you wouldn't answer me, bro.
So he's got his homie filming this, and he uploaded this himself thinking that it makes him look like the good guy, when in reality he's following his girlfriend and berating her. I'm kind of surprised the cop is even allowing him to get this close. I mean, I understand this is his house and she is simply needing protection to get her stuff out of here, but the police officer should be scared of him doing, again, like I said something earlier, something retaliatory here. Instead, he just gets to follow her, and he's going to be pestering her this entire time, making her feel guilty about calling the cops, but also proving to all of us exactly why that was actually a great idea on her part.
You gotta get out of my house. I didn't let you. I didn't say you can come in.
She's letting us in.
She doesn't own this house. I didn't say you can come in my house.
Her address is
I don't
on
care.
here. She's a resident here.
I don't care. You guys aren't allowed in my house.
We're not here to have a hard
You guys
time.
aren't allowed in my house. I'm sorry.
She lives here.
Who gave you?
She did.
And then he pulls a classic body cam footage type move right here, where he thinks he knows the law and he thinks he can just banish these people from his house. Yeah, her name might not be on the deed or however it works, you know, when you buy a house. Again, I'm too poor to know how that all works, but that doesn't mean that she can't have protection as she's getting her stuff out, especially as you're showing that you are kind of a threat here. I mean, this guy is clearly agitated, and this is only the beginning of the crash out. Trust me, it gets much crazier than this, especially after she leaves.
It's just fucking crazy. McKinley, what the f are you doing? Dude, who the f is this? You get the f out of my house.
No,
Yeah, stay the f out of my house. Get out, get out.
Stop.
Stay, tell her to get the f out of the house.
No, it's my
Not
friend.
that. Get this stupid ass out of here.
And then suddenly he switches his sights over to the friend here, who he's acting like he's never met. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's screaming at this lady to get out of his house, also threatening her. It's crazy that this harassment can happen. Also, I have to mention the fact that his girlfriend's name is McKinley, and that just makes me think of that bullshit name meme where it's like, you know, the millennial white mom that's trying to pick out her kid's name, and she crosses out all these other options that are like utter trash and picks this other new gen ass name. Like the fact that this guy is already one of my least favorite people on the entire internet, and he's dating this girl who's named McKinley. Again, I don't have any ill will towards her, but the fact that she was even willing to date this guy in the first place tells you a little bit about her character. I just know they're the two most obnoxious people to see in LA. Like, holy do they have to just be complete caricatures of rich California douchebags that you don't want to be around, that have way more money than they deserve.
Guys, look. Me and McKinley just broke up. The cops are outside of my house right now. She just called the cops on me, packed all her shit, took her car, everything. Insane. insane, bro.
So as we switch to the widescreen view here, this is the beginning of Jack going live, as I understand it. I don't really even know what site he goes on because he's been banned from so many major streaming platforms. Again, this guy is kind of in competition with Johnny Somali, who is currently facing indictment, I believe, or like massive jail time over in Korea. I'm not super tapped into that storyline, but yeah, these two are kind of the biggest menaces on the internet, and not in like a funny brain rot kind of way. Like, no, truly they are just garbage people. But anyways, he's streaming to his Rumble viewers or wherever this might be, whatever godforsaken app this is on. We see some more of his bright blue cars, like he's playing Forza and just has way too much money. But here's where he's alone with his thoughts and where we're really gonna see this man spiral into pure insanity. So make sure you strap in and maybe get some popcorn as you're coming along for the ride.
I can't believe I dated that for the past 2 years, bro. It doesn't even seem real. Don't even know her. It's insane. Like, evil, bro. She's been plotting this for a minute. This bitch used me for fucking money. I'm so fucking angry. Look, she packed all of her
So his biggest claim is that she used him for money. Now, this took a little bit of lore diving that I just didn't want to do, because the less I know about this guy, the more proud of myself I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at an age and a maturity where I just need to not know who this guy is. But then again, for the sake of this channel, when I see this happen to him, I had to do some digging. So it turns out the way that this guy makes his money, because the TikTok and YouTube views weren't enough. Trust me, he was getting enough during his heyday. Of course, his hype has kind of died down now. But he's one of these guys who is basically like an e-pimp, and he manages these different women's spicy pages, as they call them on many apps, and runs a sort of talent/management agency where really he's not doing shit. Takes a cut of their money every month and calls it good. And this was apparently his biggest client, his girlfriend. She has her own account, who he's going to be talking about. She's making apparently $500,000 a month, which is just astronomical numbers there. And he's crashing out because he's realizing that this was his last big revenue stream. I mean, he probably makes 10, 15, 20% of what she makes just for, quote, managing her. So there's that aspect of it too. Like, yeah, this guy is heartbroken, I'm sure, and he feels used, but in reality, he's seeing his entire financial structure just crumble in front of him. Because without that, this man is not pulling enough views anymore to keep up with this lavish ass lifestyle, paying off these 5 different Lambos and McLarens out front, and this ridiculous house, which I have not even gotten into, but holy shit. Does this just look like a Apple store inside? It's not even an Apple store. It's like somebody who wanted to replicate an Apple store, but then did not have any actual taste or building knowledge. Like, he's on this catwalk up top, and it's also like an office. It kind of just hurts my brain to look at, honestly. It's such a sterile, uninviting environment, and instead this guy is like, has all the money in the world, and he's like, yep, I choose this house because more window equals better.
all over. Oh, she left that. Stupid. Bro, she didn't even try to talk to me before. She just called the cops on me and said, I'm gonna go get all her shit. Took everything. Her back, her Birkin. I thought everything was okay. Instead of talking to me, this bitch has been plotting the past 24 hours. She changed all of her passwords.
Oh my god, dude, and I'm just realizing he has this massive like painting on the wall of Leonardo DiCaprio playing Jordan Belfort on his fucking wall. You know, this was the type of guy who watched that movie and thought it was a superhero movie, and he's like, I want to base my entire life off this dude, just having no media literacy or empathy or human nature to him, to where he understands that he was the villain of that story. Instead, he's idolizing him, putting him up on his wall, which is just so tacky and cringy, with this shitty font above it that says Creators Inc., which I'm guessing is the management company that he used to manage all these women. He's got it plastered over other parts of his house. It's just like a walking advertisement. It's kind of crazy, and it just goes to show that money does not buy taste. In fact, it's usually the opposite.
Guys, we got in a little ass argument because I wanted her to wake up earlier yesterday. Instead, she packs the whole entire house, bro.
And he's acting like this was all over some small argument. You know, this has just been bottling up for probably years at this point. Did this woman probably finesse him out of all this money and use his connections and clout to get connections herself and make more money? Of course. But honestly, he deserves that. I mean, this guy is so vapid, so without any personality. You know, he was getting only one thing out of her, which was her looks and the fact that there was this status of having this arm candy on him. He just saw her as an object and a money-making opportunity, and it went both ways. And now he's angry to see that it actually went both ways. He thought he was the one swindling her when the whole time she was swindling him. And also, let's not walk past the fact that he had the cops called on him, which if anybody feels like they have to do that, it means that there has been a continuous cycle of, you know, the word I can't say between you two, and he's probably shoveling out so many threats to her every day that she truly thought that she would be in danger trying to move out on her own. That's why she had to do this plan, and he's acting like it's all sudden due. That's how it goes in relationships like this. The person's so terrified of your reaction, they can't tell you their plans beforehand because you would retaliate with words or fists or whatever it might be.
She took, and she called the cops on me to do it too, which is crazy. Everything, bro. She took all of her
and then he goes off and shows his room. Holy shit, this closet obnoxious. You know his maid just every day has to sort these shirts by color, and it's just so horrendous. And he's like, she took everything. All I have is my giant bear bricks, guys. This is so lonely. Like, oh my god, this guy's taste is just stuck in 2015, and it's so cringy to see. Oh, I'm getting so much joy from this video, if you can't tell.
I made this a fucking millionaire within a year of knowing me. I've probably spent $1 million on this. Not only that, I spent 2 years of my life loving this girl who, in the middle of this time, I had the most going on for myself, and I still stopped everything to fucking love this girl, and I did. And this is how I get treated. Insane.
So now he's going down the checklist. He's like, I've probably blown $1 million on this girl. I made her make $500,000, which again, this is all looping back to money. That's why he's stressing the fuck out right now. He's realizing his empire is crumbling as he's about to get into it, but this girl has asked him to stop working with other girls. So at this point, she was his only client, or vice versa. You know what I mean by that? Like, she was the only person that he was, quote, managing. So that's why this is such a big blow to him, and also why she had to do it incognito. You'll notice he keeps saying she changed all her passwords overnight. Like, if that's the first thing you notice, that's very telling over how controlling he was in this relationship. I mean, why do you have her passwords? That shows that he would have tried to change the passwords on her if he got even an inkling that she was going to break up with him, and would try to take all her money and her ability to continue her page. That's exactly the playbook there, and he's mad that he got inched out because she finally got big enough to not need his, quote, management.
I've never met this ever, but she pops out to help her move out of my house. This bitch put a hit on her. Just kidding.
Oh, just kidding, guys. He's just kidding. Like, don't actually put a hit on her. Like, that's what I'm talking about, dude. That is a blatant fucking threat. And you can't just say that in jest as you're angry and then act like, oh yeah, I was just kidding. Don't actually put a hit on her. Because you have some deranged viewer, some little kid who's gonna hear this and think, oh, I actually need to do this for Jack. He needs my help. Like, don't underestimate the crazy people you have in your fan base, bro. And he knows better.
That better sleep with one eye open. What a fucking fake, bro. You guys don't even realize, don't even know the full story.
And then he continues the threats to the girl herself, which again proves exactly why it was actually a great idea that she called the cops. I'm proud of her for making that choice. And clearly, it kept her safe throughout that entire ordeal.
There's no other 20-year-old trillionaire. No, I'm kidding. None of that matters. It has nothing to do with money. It's like the fact that I can no other bitches to live this life that she has. All she has to do is be grateful, positive, and appreciative. And that's all I ask of her.
I don't get it, guys. You shower a girl with money, endless money. I mean, yeah, you're terribly shitty to her in every other way, but you give her so much money and she doesn't continue to love you. Why does she react like a normal human, guys? Like, this guy is just so clueless on humanity. I said it earlier, but he just has nothing in him that is human anymore. It's all consumed by money, greed, clout, all this shitty negative stuff that is surrounding him, and he's just never gonna get it. There's no growing up for this guy. I know he's, quote, young, and maybe you're like, oh, his prefrontal cortex hasn't developed. Bro, when that does, it's just gonna solidify his shit takes and his shit view of the world. He's actually a piece of trash.
How does she expect her life to get better? Exactly. It's like there's no other guy in the world that's gonna treat her better than me. Because we didn't fight for 2 years. Our biggest fights ever were in the past 2 weeks.
You know this is just so cap. Like, obviously they're fighting every day. That's why she's miserable, and that's why she had to plot to leave you secretly. He just doesn't get any of that. He thinks it's all hunky-dory because he kept showering her with money, or vice versa. It sounds like she's been paying for their lifestyle now that his YouTube channel and everything's gone downhill.
I never wanted to be in a relationship to begin with, bro. When I met this girl, I was making $1.5 million a month. Now, I'm making probably a tenth of that. Like, what the fuck happened?
And it's honestly sad how much money that is, because I'm laughing at the fact that he's only making $150K, you know, according to my math there, 1.5 million a month divided by 10. But I'm laughing because you look at his front yard and this house, and you know that's not enough money to sustain this. He probably has a $60,000 credit card bill this month anyways that he's got to pay on his black card that has no limit, that he thought he would never have to worry about. But now that he has no money stream from exploiting all these girls' pages, he's screwed, dude. And you can tell that the empire is crumbling. It's crazy to watch this happen in real time, and that's why he's having this absolute mental breakdown on stream. Like, how idiotic do you have to be to stream this too? You're just showing your ass to the world, embarrassing yourself, bro. Like, even further.
I've never felt like this in my life before, guys. Like, I just feel so over and just betrayed. Like, not only the relationship-wise, but business-wise as well. It's like that girl came into my life with nothing and left with more than I have. Like, the fuck, like.
So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the stream. He just continues rambling and ranting about how messed up this was on so many levels, and I gotta agree, but I also gotta say it's one of the best things that's happened this year. I mean, it's been such a year. I needed this, guys. I needed to see somebody take an L that deserved it, because that's not happening enough this year. So please, let me know what you thought of this down in the comments below. I will continue to cover his story if more terrible shit happens to him, but if he just continues being a dirtbag and being successful on the internet, I'll go back to not covering him. But thanks so much for watching till the end of the video. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm gonna try to have a few videos for you guys this week, and as always, peace out.